The first step in setting up Eyes and Lens for a project is to set up users and their roles. Let's talk about roles first. There are three broad types of roles that are relevant to Eyes and Lens projects. The first is data entry operator. This is a desktop app user who can view documents, do categorization and data entry, and send documents for review. This user can work offline as well. The second role is project manager. This is a web application user. This user reviews documents that have been processed by data entry operators on her team. And this user can only work while she is online. And the third role is client. This is also a web user. This user reviews a sample of documents that the project manager has approved. After the client approves documents, they are uploaded into the document repository. This user can also only work while online. So let's go ahead and create the three roles. For the purpose of this demonstration, we will use a dummy client called Acme Core. So here I am on the Eyes and Lens web page, the web application page. I'm going to log in as an administrator. Note that I can select a language that I want to use in my UI, and this list can be customized as well. So I'm logging in, and by default it asks me to pick an existing client. This can be anything. I'll just pick one client for now. And now I'll click on Manage. Now here I see Manage Roles and Manage Users. I'll start by clicking Manage Roles. There are some pre-existing roles, but we will create 3 new roles. So I say Add Role, and I want to create a desktop data entry operator role first. So I'll give it a name like Acme Data Entry Operator Role. And I will give it the desktop app permissions and all the desktop app permissions, which include logging in, uploading, submitting for review, bulk submit, seeing their accuracy reports, doing a false reject, and also adding comments. So a user can either be a desktop app user or a web console user. In this case, because this user is going to be a data entry operator, we will set it as a desktop app user. And we say Save Changes. Now let's add 2 more roles for the web users. Let's call this user Acme Project Manager role, and I would like to give it permissions for the web console. Now I'll say select all. So this role can do everything that a web-based administrator can do, which includes logging in, reviewing, rejecting, etc. And I would say Save Changes. Now the third role will be a slightly limited role because you don't want your client to be able to do absolutely everything. So let's say Acme Client role. We'll start by selecting all, but then we'll deselect some things we don't want them to see. So we want them to see the web console, we want them to submit for review, we want them to bulk submit, we want them to see accuracy reports, reject, false reject, comments. We don't want them to manage clients. We don't want them to be able to add a new client. Or we don't want them to be able to modify workflows or users or actual metadata types and collections or add roles, for example. And we also don't want them to update batch sizes. But we do want them to be able to upload documents to the repository at the end of the process. And here we say Save Changes. Now let's create a few users. So we go back to the Manage dashboard.